What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Dak908, aka the Dig Dug himself, and we're going to be doing that answering session to the Q&A, the A part to the Q&A. Now, in my last video, the Gold Raytheon video, in the very beginning, I asked you guys, yo, give me some questions. I'll answer them because you guys gave me like 50 likes, something like that on the video, and I appreciate those likes. And on the subsequent video, which was the Gold Raytheon video, I said if we got 100, we do a double Q&A. Didn't really get to that far. We only got to like 77. Regardless, it's not a big deal, but I still owe you this Q&A, and without further ado, let's just get right into it. As you can see, I have the questions on the screen here. It's literally the comment section, But starting at the bottom, Zero Base Soul says, when is the next Outkast reunion? Now, I'm thinking you said that because with my hair long and down like it was in the prior video, I looked like Andre 3000. A lot of people used to call me Andre 3000 because I kind of look like him since I grew my mustache out a bit, and with my hair being long, reminds everyone from the Hey Ya video. But I don't know. I don't know when there's gonna be another Outkast reunion. Who knows? But next, the homie Michael, aka the homie Valent, asks, where would you like to see the development of your streaming / YouTube career lead towards? That's a very good question. A very good question. One I just can't answer like off the rip. So let me think about it for a quick second. Now, where would I like to see it go from? Okay, so do you guys know like the Nintendo Minute, where you have Crystal and Chris, or whatever the heck the guys' names are called? I'm not sure. I don't really watch too often. I just see it every now and then. But what they do is they make video content for Nintendo. I would like to see myself do the same thing, but for like a different company. I wouldn't want to do it from my own thing. You know, I would rather like be like a host or like a broadcaster or like a commentator to a certain thing. I wouldn't necessarily want to do it for myself, like do my own channel. But I'd be totally down for, like, let's say if Capcom was like, yo, we need someone to do a Monster Hunter series or whatever, basically sponsored by us, made by us, but you're the one running the show. That would be where I want to go. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Like if there's like, okay, new Monster Hunter game is coming out, we need someone to make the videos. Like, look at the new the cutscenes or whatever they would have in the game. I need you to make a trailer for us or whatever. Boom, that's where I would like to actually take it, and I would actually do reveals and stuff like that. I want to do that. As far as streaming goes, maybe a commentator of some sort, like an esports not an esports, let's back it up, like a commentator, like along lines of like a fighting game commentator, or any kind of thing that kind of look really interested in. Maybe competitive Armored Core, I don't know, Smash, that kind of thing. That's kind of where I like to actually go from there. But Frankendorf says, I'm guessing you've played Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate for at least 200 hours or so, and have fought like every monster in G-Rank. So my question is, how do you keep the game fun and interesting? Personally, I'm getting bored of the game right now, just doing charm runs. Well, the first thing you should do is stop doing charm runs. Stop trying to optimize everything. Now, the first thing I noticed when it comes to playing a game like Monster Hunter, the quickest way to get bored is try to optimize everything. Optimization makes the game very boring because it invokes numbers. When you invoke numbers in a video game that's supposed to be fun, that's when you lose it. It becomes super boring and it's no fun after that. So what I would do, I wouldn't try to be optimized. I would try to do something that I kind of like. Something, let's say I would try to make the best Gunlance armor for me, like the way I want to do it. Not the best, but the way I want it. It could be really creative, it could be really unique, it could have some wonky skills. That's usually how I get down. And then I would have fun with that. I would give myself certain challenges. I would say, okay, let's say I'm home with a group of my friends. Alright guys, the first one to take an actual hit point of damage has to like buy us food or whatever. You know, just make it fresh. Keep the game fresh for you. Try to find other random nuanced things. Like I said, with the challenges, trying not to be super optimized, because eventually you're going to be optimized. You're going to play the game long enough to the point to where you're going to get those charms you're really dying to get just for free without actually having to farm anything. You'll get all your money, you'll get all your monster parts. Just try to give yourself a goal, okay? Make multiple goals. Say I want to make all the lances, for example. I want to make all the lances, then I want to make all the gun lances, but then I also want to do this. Start doing transmog sets, you know, there's so many things you can do in the game. Don't focus on the numbers, because as soon as you start focusing on the numbers, that's when the game tick goes down and it loses a lot of its appeal. That's how I've been able to actually play games like Monster Hunter for thousands of hours. So yeah. Next, Clorox Bleach says, what got you into Monster in the first place and how are you so far? Okay, that's two questions, and one of them I don't understand the how are you so far thing. Like, how am I? I'm pretty good. But how am I so far in the game? I played a lot. But what got me into Monster Hunter? My brother and I and my cousin Trey, we were hanging at his house, Trey's house, and my brother was talking about this game that, oh man, you kill these monsters and like you make stuff out of the body parts or whatever. Because me and Trey, we were talking about Devil May Cry. We were like, yo, you get the ebony and ivory, you know what I mean? It's dope, you know, it's flashy. And he was like, man, they ain't got nothing compared to this or whatever. Talking about how you would actually kill a thing, and then when you make a thing out of that thing, you can see the thing on the thing. Now, I know I use a lot of descriptive words there, but let's break it down. He told me like this: a Velocidrome greatsword. He says you can kill the Velocidrome, take his hide. The hide will be stretched across the greatsword. His eyeball, the Velocidrome's eyeball, will also be on the greatsword. His teeth. I was like, yo, so they're taking actual parts from this thing and making it into an actual weapon, fashioning it like raw. He's like, yes. To me, that was dope, and that was like in 2008, and it's been going down ever since. That's why I have 11 years roughly into Monster Hunter. So shout out to my little bro. All right, so next Cool Me says, if you had a chance to make a Monster Hunter from Monster Hunter World, what would it be? That's a very good question. Actually, that's actually a pretty good question. One that we've answered a couple of times, and now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, I want to go through with my design. I had an idea to actually make like a giant bear. You know, like a giant bear, giant ice bear. Think Beartic from Pokemon, but super Monster Hunter-ified. Now, I want him to be cock swole. I mean, like strong, son. And I want him to actually really throw his weight around and like throw ice balls, summon ice spears. Yes, summon icicle spears. Okay, I want to be like, and then just kind of like how Dire Miles doesn't actually summon. He just shoots the plumes out of his pipes there. But you know, like some one of those Fatalis monsters, I can't remember which one, it didn't really matter, but they can summon like meteors. I think it's Crimson, can summon meteors or summon like electricity. Let my man summon ice shards. Let him crystalline the snow in the sky and form a spear and shoot a bunch at you or something like that. But he has to be swole. He has to actually have a presence. I don't want him to be akin to Rajang or Blaganga, because they're just monsters that are there. They hold no actual weight to the stage that they're actually in. They just hit pretty hard. I want it to be akin to that of like Gammoth. When Gammoth walks into the area, big body, you see all of Gammoth, you know what I mean? You taking steps, ground is shaking, that kind of thing. I want to be like, dang, man's is big. He feels big. That's what I want. I want a giant bear to do something like that. So with Iceborne being here, it'd be cool. It'd be super unlikely, but it would fit Iceborne and being an ice bear, that kind of thing. Yeah, so that's how it is for that. Now, next, Darkest Diablos and Raid Hunter, two people I'm guessing, as how was growing up for you like? Well, now we're delving into a bit of my actual backstory, some origins. I'm gonna keep it brief because I can go on this for forever. But my family migrated. We are immigrants to America. I came here and eventually set a foothold into Texas. Real young. We came with absolutely nothing. We came with like nothing. We honestly had to get it out the mud. My family was actually very poor for like a very, very long time, a super long time. It wasn't until I was like 16 where I actually started making my own money. I was able to actually provide myself with certain things like video games and the like, or consoles that I would actually buy myself. But growing up for me, it was just like any other 90s kid for the most part. Yeah, we didn't have a lot, but we had a lot of friends. And the neighborhoods that we actually grew up in, a lot of the people who actually lived there, a lot of the kids, they had the video games. We would go to their house to play the video games, ride bikes, run through the woods or whatever, you know, beat each other with sticks. You know, it's what kids do, you know, play around in the mud, chase cows. It's the country and the 90s, okay? So think about this. Texas, we chasing cows. Country, running through bushes. And it's the 90s. We're outside playing. Yeah, you guys remember outside, right? You know, with the big sun in the sky, and the grass, and the blue sky, and all that stuff, the leaves? Yeah, remember that? We don't do that no more. It's 2019, no one goes outside, let's be real. I mean, I only leave the house to go to work. But for the most part, it was fairly average. Lots of video games. A lot of my friends, a lot of my closest friends to this day, we actually came together because of video games. And that was essentially it. It was really rough for my family because I said we were quite poor, so we never really had all the cool stuff, never really had all the video games, never really had all the cool clothes or whatever. So I was kind of picked on to some extent in that regard, but my charm and charisma, which everyone knows me for, was what kept me afloat through all that. Even though there were other kids in my same situation, because of the way I resonated with other people and everything like that, I'm assuming anyway, it wasn't a huge deal for them, and they really couldn't find a way to make fun of me, and it'd be bad to make fun of me. It's like, dude, you can't make fun of Dak. I mean, he's cool, you know what I mean? So I guess as a youth, my ability to actually have people look my way, not necessarily look my way, but for me to like make friends, super easy thing for me to do, to make friends. Super outgoing, your boy was, so it was a lot easier for me to make friends, even if I didn't have all the things that you usually would have as a kid in the 90s to make friends, i.e. flashy clothes, video games, money in your pocket, that kind of thing. But growing up for me, essentially like any other 90s kid, but I had a little less money in the back, and video games kind of made and broke, I should say, all of my relationships with friends and whatnot. There's more to it, but we're gonna keep it brief enough to like that. Like I said, I can make an entire video about that. But next, Xeno Emperor Arc gameplay. Arc Survival Evolved, I think is what that game is called. The game sucks. But anyway, who do you think will win a battle between Dalamander and Fatalis? Dalamander. Why? My man is quite large, very, very large. Curl up Fatalis, squeeze. All right. Enough said. Like dead serious, or just eat Fatalis. He's big enough to probably do that. Just straight up gobble, one go. That's what I feel. Next, 0x111 or 111, I should guess. Relaxed hair makes you look like a pimp, a monster hunting pimp. Also, life has been well for you, my dude. Also, hope life has been well for you, my dude. Well, yes, life has been life, I suppose. Anyway, Wyvern Warrior says, what's your opinion on the longsword? The longsword is not a bad weapon. The longsword is actually a fairly decent weapon. I myself can't really use the longsword. The intricacies about the longsword I'm not 100% familiar with, and I don't really quite like to actually play with the longsword the way it actually plays. However, I will say it's a good weapon. What gives the longsword a bad rap is the players themselves. They don't tend to care a lot for the other hunters in the party. If a monster gets toppled over, he comes in and trips everyone, and everyone knows that's the biggest issue with the longsword. If you find players that's actually very good at making so that they don't trip other players, he could be one of the best players in the entire party. I actually love fighting with longsword users who actually do that, who don't trip you and are very cautious and aware and perceptive of where their teammates actually are. They are usually the ones who do the most damage for that hunt. But that's how I feel about the longsword. It's not about the weapon, it's about the player. The weapon is solid, the players are the ones that's usually the problem. Okay, Jay the Rook says, if Monster Hunter were to end, what game series would you base your channel around, or at very least play as often as Monster Hunter? That is an exceedingly good question. So, off the top, like without thinking, Armored Core would be the first game I would say. But then again, Armored Core itself isn't a very alive game right now. It might actually be relatively deadish. Who knows? Because they are making another Armored Core game, but it's one of those, if this one don't sell like Dark Souls numbers because the same company who makes Armored Core makes Dark Souls, they might just drop it all together forever and ever. But let's say that's not the case. It would probably be Armored Core, and if not Armored Core, I would probably just go back to my real video game love. That would be fighting games. I love fighting games more than any other game type out there, but yet I don't get to play it as often because I'm so busy making Monster Hunter videos and do other things with everyone else. And it takes a lot of time and dedication, a lot of time and dedication to get good at one particular fighting game and then do better at it and then maybe progress to others. I don't have the same time that it would normally take to get that fly in all those other fighting games that's coming out. So instead, I always end up being like mediocre or like trash at best and just playing Monster Hunter. But if Monster Hunter were to die, I would totally like switch over to fighting games, or maybe even just do a whole bunch of Nintendo stuff as well. But that's that. So scrolling up, Asha Cameron says, what Monster Hunter game have you soaked the most hours into? That would be Monster Hunter Tri. I have 1,700 hours in that game. It's the Monster Hunter game that came out for the Nintendo Wii back in August 2009 in Japan, but I got it in like March 2010 in America. But I've sunk about 1,700 hours into that game simply because it was just the most fun for me. I loved everything about that game, from the limited number of monsters. There was only 18 monsters in that game, 18, to the new underwater mechanic, into the wide vast worlds and everything. I just loved everything about it. It was my most played Wii game by far, and there's nothing bad I can really say about it. The online hub, Lock City, was probably my absolute favorite online hub to date, period, bar none. The number 2 would probably be whatever it's called in Monster Hunter World, because it's, I guess, more intuitive. But other than that, I'm definitely gonna say Lock City is my favorite online hub. No other one really essentially comes close in my personal opinion. So Monster Hunter Try for sure. All right, Casey says, what's your Switch name? Cause I always wanted to play Monster Hunter with you. I will be putting my Switch friend code in the description to this video. So if you want to play with me, this goes for anyone. If you want to play with me and you want to add me via Switch, look in the description. I'll have that information for you there, and we can add up and be friends. And yeah. Now next, Stripe Dino. Excuse me, I'm so dumb. Stripe Dino says, how'd you get that majestic hair? Now I'm actually gonna couple this comment with another one that's up here a little bit. Where is he? My man say, how'd you get those long flowing locks, my guy? I picture you with the low cut. So I'm coupling those two together. So I use the relaxer. If you don't know what a relaxer is, it's the exact opposite to a perm. If you don't know what a perm is, let me explain. If you were to put a relaxer in your hair, it relaxes your hair. It makes usually rough, puffy hair, curly hair, natural black African American hair, if you will, lay down and become nice and soft. A lot more easier to manage when it's done this way, wherein which usually a lot of people, the huge thing right now is going natural. And you see girls with the curls and everything. That's cool. I'm not knocking that, but I'm a guy, okay? I don't like have mad time to do my own personal hair. I don't really know how to do my own hair. I usually get my sisters, my mother to do my hair. So I'm like, yo, relax it for me, so that way if I do have to manage my own hair, yo, I'll put a couple little lotions in there, you know, lather it up, comb it out, brush it out, and I'm out the door. It takes 2 seconds. I don't have time to be in the mirror with like thousands of things, taking care of my hair every single day. So I relax that way. It's a lot easier on me, or I can just like put it in a ponytail. It's in a ponytail right now. You know, that's how I even have the hat on. I put it in a ponytail, and it's just, I just go. So it's easier for me to do like that if I relax my hair. But every now and then I get to flex it a little back, I get to, you know, put the curls in, you know what I mean, bob it and all that stuff. So I use a relaxer. Google if you like. It makes curly, rough hair straight. The perm is the exact opposite. It makes straight hair curly. White people, no offense, like to use the perm so that way they can get a little volume to their hair. But that's that. So Fox Paradox says, yo, what's up? Question, are you completely colorblind or just certain colors? Certain colors, not completely colorblind. There's only 2 completely colorblind people in my family right now. I forgot exactly what the doctor called it, but it began with like trio something or whatever. I don't know. I don't really care. I'm not bothered by my color blindness. I've lived my life this way, and it's not wild for me. It's just how I perceive things. It's just my view. I know there's ways to actually correct this vision. There's glasses you can wear to actually see colors how they're supposed to be seen. I'm not bothered by it. I'm essentially really not bothered by it. I'm not like, oh man, I so wish I don't care. I honestly don't care. I don't even wear clothes that I can't actually identify what's off the top of my head. I wear a lot of blacks and navy blues, browns, a lot of stuff you can just interchangeably just wear at any point in time. A black t-shirt, a brown t-shirt, a blue t-shirt, and just wear jeans, you know, it just works. Or I wear like khakis and just wear anything that's like darker than the khaki, or like a white t-shirt. I wear very plain clothing, and that's my style. I'm a very plain dressed person. I am plain, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm not bothered with no colors, not bothered with trying to see more colors. I ain't tripping, your boy's okay. So that's that. So don't ask me if I'm trying to fix my vision. I'm not. That's not it. The only vision I'm trying to fix is my 20/20, like seeing better, like farther away. But he would ask, what is your favorite underground game, and tell us the lore. You're not gonna get the lore. You know when you're gonna get the lore. Until those parameters are met, you're gonna get the lore. But till then, no. Now, favorite underground game. I don't really know what you mean by an underground game. I'm guessing a game that's relatively less popular than others that a lot of people probably have missed. I actually saw this question before and I thought about it, and I already have my answer. That answer is Deadly Creatures for the Nintendo Wii. That is a game where you actually get to play a tarantula and a scorpion, and you traverse your world and try to just survive, eventually meeting up to the end where you fight a rattlesnake and blow up a gas station. Give it a look-see, YouTube it a little bit. I actually made a video about it. It was actually the first video on this channel. The very first video on my channel was of Deadly Creatures. So if you want to go way back, you can totally find it over there. I was playing Deadly Creatures for a series I was actually coming up with called Mixing Mondays, where I would play a different game outside of the usual games that we usually play. At the time, it was Monster Hunter and Call of Duty. So, Deadly Creatures. Next, Raymond says, what franchise do you want Monster Hunter to crossover with, and armor sets and weapons? And whoa, that was written a little weird. What franchise do you want Monster Hunter to cross over with, and armor sets and weapons should they have from that franchise? I understand what you're saying. It's just written weird. Whew, my brain blew up. But I thought about this one too, because I skimmed through these questions, because a lot of these questions I figured some would be very hard for me to just come off the top of the dome with. And in this one, I chose the JoJo series, that's what it is, right? The anime JoJo, whatever, where the guy stands still, has this little thing, this ghost guy, fight him or whatever. I would choose that. Why? The style, the actual style of the, I know they already did JoJo before, if I'm not mistaken, but I want to see that expanded upon. But the actual style, like the clothing and everything that everyone wears in those series, is pretty fresh. You guys know that. I know that. It's just what it is. It's just really dope clothing, so I'd like to see them actually incorporate their armor sets into the game a lot more of that. Now, their stands, how will the stands work? Not sure. Don't really care. Make it a whole new weapon type. I would say make it to where it's akin to stuff you already have, but expand on it. So, for example, dead serious example, I would have a lance stand. So what it would be is I would press the buttons that you use to actually fight or whatever, and a lance would pop out, or a stand that actually have lances as arms or whatever would pop out, and he would do lance type stuff, like he'd do pokes, he'd do sweeps, the whole kind of thing, the whole 9 yards. Not the same exact attacks, more so modified. It'd be a whole new thing. Like you would pick stand as your weapon, and then you would pick what type of weapon he would actually work as, and then you would pick the weapon in which. So I would pick I'd pick a stand, and I'd pick lance, and I'd pick like Babel spear, and my stand would have a Babel spear, or I'd do a stand, gun lance, and the Zor Magdaros joint, and I would have Zor Magdaros gun, that kind of thing. I would do that. Don't know how they would do it. It sounds cool to me. Dope in my head. That's what I would do. So scrolling up, whipping and flipping it, aka the homie Nachos, asks, did you know that Lock is for the children? Yes, sir. Yes, I did. Lock is for the children. The best online hub ever to exist ever. And now for the final question. Oh wait, I answered this one. Gira Games, I answered that personally because what's a good art for the Valor Greatsword? I didn't want to wait until I did this video to give him that particular bit of information, because that particular bit of information is good right now. He needs that right now. That's something you don't wait 4 or 5 days to get. You need that now. You ask a question in regards to that, I'm gonna give you the information immediately because you need help with something, so I get that. But Darius, this gentleman here, asks, do I smoke weed? The answer is no. I've never smoked weed. I've never smoked cigarettes. I've drank a couple of times. I don't drink. I don't like to do these things. The reason why I don't do any of these things, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do any of that, is because I like to be in 100% control of all my faculties all the time. Being elated is not my favorite thing to be. I don't like that feeling. I really do not like that feeling. It may look like I am that kind of guy, but I do not do it. I don't like it. Actually, I'll push you away. If you like, yo, I'm like, nah, kid, I can't. We can't be kicking it. Don't be pushing it on me. Don't be asking me to do none of that. I'll push you away. I'll tell you to get stepping. I'm not about that life, and never really have been. I have distributed these products amongst individuals who would like to, give you boys some currency in exchange for, but I've never partook. But anyway, with all that being said, that's the questions right there. So we didn't quite get to 100 likes in the last video. We got to 77, so we're not gonna do a double up. But for those of you guys who asked the questions, here are your answers. So yeah, it was fun. A lot of cool questions. We will probably do this again. I'll let you guys know when. It won't be like right now. I mean, maybe like a month or two when you guys have more time to think of some more questions. We'll run it back. But thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy. Also, I'll have another video out for you guys what's today? Today is March 23rd. I have a video out for you guys on the 24th. I don't know exactly what it'll be. It'll just be another Monster Hunter video, of course. But I don't know exactly what monster it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be like the Devil Joe or something like that. So look for that. Anyway, oh look, there's the Devil Joe video right here. Oh, my head's in the way, you can't see it. But can I turn it? a little bit. There's the Double Joe video right here. We're gonna redo that video. We're gonna make the G rank version of that video since you know, Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate and all this stuff. But anyway, guys, it's been your boy Dak908, aka the Dig Dug himself. Y'all take care. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy your day. Peace out. Take it easy.